who better to talk about ballet cosplay safety with than somebody who's been helping us out for the last few years here on Extreme Anime Radio. One of the magnificent cosplayers of our mascot, Sarah Yoshida, and also a talented artist. Please welcome Kessho-Cho. Hi, Kessho-Cho. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for staying up late because we're recording this on a Friday evening, and where you are, it's a totally different day on the other side of the pond.
It is. For me, it is 2 a.m. currently.
Oh, boy. So I will try to keep things rolling along. Thank you so much for joining us again.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. I don't think we've seen you face-to-face on Twitch yet, and it's also been quite a while since we've had you on the podcast or any of the streams in general. So
it's
perhaps,
been a while.
Yeah, I think so. So could you please just once again introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners and anybody else who might be new?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Kessho-Cho Cosplay. I am one of the many Sarah cosplayers that Extreme Anime Radio now has. I don't know when I joined the party, but all I know is that I'm loving being Sarah, and I love cosplaying, I love art, I love ballet, and here I am.
Yes, I know it's been a few years since you did your first Sarah cosplay out in the outdoors near Brighton, right?
Yeah, first one I did was down the lanes with all the graffiti at the time that was there, and it was awesome.
Yeah, the lanes that we visited when I came over a few years ago, and that was a fun, exciting day.
Yes, I was like, right, I took photos here, and I took photos there. and all the artwork has completely changed.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I remember that. And then we went to the pier, and then you did some spy photo shooting of me when I did the Japanese flight simulator.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I still have those on my phone.
Sure. Well, if I can find them in time, we're gonna plaster them up here on the video when it airs.
Fabulous. I will send them. They will be there right now.
Okay, if you say so, they will. So, Kessho-Cho, we're talking about ballet cosplay safety in this particular series once again, and I know this is a topic that you helped us out on last year when we did it right on the podcast. So, could you please tell everybody about your background in dance and ballet?
Sure. So I am classically trained over here in the UK. I learnt under what we have as the Royal Academy of Dance syllabus. I trained from basically 4 years old onwards, so I went through primary all the way through my grades, which are 1 to 8, which you then have intermediate, advanced, and I think it ends at advanced. I can't quite remember. But I ended up, from what I believe, getting to advanced 1 before health took a turn. So I am classically trained under certified law over here.
Yes, and something you've told me about in the past, and you had an idea actually for doing this as a Sarah cosplay, and actually it's in one of our latest artworks of Sarah from Yo Okinawa.
Yeah.
Sarah in what's called the RAD exam, or the Royal Academy of Dance exam. So in a nutshell, could you explain what that is?
Sure. So basically the Royal Academy of Dance, once a year, believe. I'm trying to remember now. But basically after every grade, you take an examination. And in these exams, you either get given a number, which Sarah has on her artwork, which is the most prominently used one at the minute. But when I was a lot younger, you used to have like different bows attached to your leotard and in your hair so that they knew, right, green related to that one, blue related to that one. And the examiner knew who you were. And you basically take all of this training over a year or 2 years, depending on the level you are at. And you go in and take a between hour to 3 hour exam and walk out at the end, hopefully with a really good grade.
3 hours?
3 hours.
Without even so much of a break?
Nope. Basically, the longest exam I had was for my intermediate, which is one I actually took at the Royal Academy itself.
Oh, wow.
And I was in with 3 other girls. There were 3 of us in the exam. And you start with your bar work, You then move on to your center work, and then you have your I can't remember what it's called, but you each pick a style of dance, and you can either have the same as the other girls or different, but it's like a 1 to 2 minute like full length routine, not just an exercise that you perform.
I see.
And basically you just do it like one after the other, and you're just like machining through this exam.
Wow. Does that involve any choreography that you make up on your own?
No, it's all pre-taught by the teachers, and everything is set to a strict syllabus that you learn. My teachers were always brilliant, though. They were like, right, we're going to teach you the syllabus, but here's how to perform it. And so one of my teachers, Miss Ledbetter, she was my absolute favorite. And I was always one of the shy girls in the class, but she sort of helped me come out of all that. And she always like taught me how like to hold my chin and my hands, and it just all helped bring a performance rather than just doing the motions one by one sort of thing. And it really helped in examinations. But they grade you on like 3 things. They grade you on how well you do the syllabus, your performance, and your musicality, so how well you perform to the music.
And the music being, I guess, somebody's playing at a piano, from what I understand, right?
Yes, there is always a pianist there.
Okay. And so you have been through several of these examinations now.
Yes, and I have the certificates to prove it.
Wow. So now that we're speaking face-to-face rather in the audio realm, could you give your thoughts about people who want to integrate dance or ballet into their cosplays?
Take it carefully, please. By all means, add dance to cosplay. It's a fantastic thing to do, whether it be ballet or tap, modern, jazz, hip-hop, whatever you want. It's brilliant. But with ballet specifically, it hit a point where at cons, ballet was actually becoming quite popular to bring into a cosplay environment. And I used to see, I'm going to say girls, no offense lads, walking around in point shoes, and I was like, please tell me you're trained, because if not, this hurts to watch. And people take photos of them, and you just watch them. It's like, no, I want to see how they do. I want to know if they're trained or not. And you can either tell immediately if they know what they're doing or not, and it's horrifying when they don't. That's through no offense to the cosplayers. Like, if you are trying out ballet shoes and point shoes, if you don't know what you're doing, it's expected, but it's also super dangerous, which is why we're here today.
Yes. I know you were talking to me about you've been doing some research into insoles.
Yes. When it came to ballet safety, I know that you've done a lot of other podcasts with other cosplayers, and I was like, right, how can I mix things up a bit? Right. So I was looking into the shoes themselves and not just the training behind it all. So I went back and I was like, I'm going to find out what they have now that you can wear inside a point shoe to help protect your feet, cushion them, etc.
Okay. And
so yeah.
So you have how have they improved over the years, would you say?
Very well, considering when I was first in point shoes, they gave you these things called jelly pouches, which you wore underneath your tights. And imagining this is my foot, right. You would wear them to like cover your toes, and it was just like this weird jelly thing that you had to like slide on your toes and then jam in a point shoe.
Oh boy.
It wasn't comfy.
And now what do you use?
All sorts. I use a bit of a mix, and let me go to I have a little tab up, bear with me. I've come prepared. One thing that I always use now in my point shoes, whether I'm in it for 5 minutes or 5 hours for shoots or not, I always use something called toe tape. And for me, it helps my toes not rub together. And toe tape is essentially, I want to put it as the ballet's world of masking tape. It sounds weird, but hear me out.
Okay.
So basically, you have just a roll of tape, a bit like a sellotape roll. Mm-hmm. And you tear off bits, and I personally wrap them around each of my toes. And thank you, ballet shoes, for making my feet no longer than a size 3 here. I have very tiny toes, and they rub together a lot in point shoes.
Oh, I see.
So for me, the toe tape, when I have it on and then the pouch and then the point shoe, instead of being in the pouch where your toes are like completely condensed, rubbing together, especially if you're like properly going at a point routine, it really, really helps stop friction between your toes, especially if you have a tendency for them to rub together and you can feel them in the shoe and you're just like, this is painful.
So if you ran into people and they're not trained in dance and you want to give them any suggestions to try to help improve their cosplays while not trying to risk injury, what would you suggest?
Step 1, get rid of the point shoes. Because there are easier and softer alternatives that you can use that will give you the exact same look without the excruciating pain. And they are called, I believe they're called soft blocks over here in said England.
Soft blocks, demi points, maybe?
They also demi points. That is another one I've heard people say.
Okay.
I think it just depends on where you are and what they're called.
Okay.
But essentially, I learned about these through progressing through my exams, because you get to a point where you can no longer wear ballet flats, which are just your standard rubber, normal-looking point shoe that you see kiddies wear.
Right.
Now, they're normally made of like a leather or a satin, but when you move up to your advanced grades, your intermediate grades, like basically your professional grades, near enough, they say you cannot wear them anymore. They are out of the question. They are now for training only. You do not wear them in an exam. So they put you onto soft blocks, which are basically a point shoe, but completely broken. And I know that sounds very strange. And to all the lovely listeners out there who may not know what I'm talking about, you have to break in point shoes. When you first get them, they are a shoe that is obviously for your toes. They stand upright and they are so rigid and they will not bend no matter how much you will them. So for every dancer, you have to break in a pair of point shoes when you get them. So a lot of people will hold them and like bend them on the arch to get the arch of the foot bent. We also used to smack them against the bar.
I've seen videos of dancers doing that, or either that or hitting them on the ground, basically.
Yep, that is also a thing we do, and it works. It's not us being mental and taking our aggression out. It really does work. That's another way to break them in. People also could steam them over a kettle to soften the bit that covers your toes, because that is also unbelievably rigid when you first get them.
Interesting.
And the idea of a point shoe is to keep the shape, keep the rigidness, otherwise you can't go on your tippy toes.
Right. But
soft blocks is basically a point shoe that is completely broken in. It's soft, it's floppy, but it looks like a point shoe. And for any cosplayer that wants to have the point shoe look without A, the pain, and B, the effort, and C, they're cheaper, then point shoes are the way forward. They're softer, they're comfier, and probably better for your feet all round. Genuinely.
Now, thinking back to some of your ballet cosplays that you've done, obviously
Yes.
we're a big fan of everything you've done with Sarah, but I know you also love some of the others that you've done, in particular one Frozen character.
Yes, I believe her name is Elsa.
So tell me how that came about.
Oh, wow. How did that come about? That was one of the first Disney princess crossovers I ever did.
Wow.
And that came about through knowing the right people at the right time, I'm going to say. Because the Ballet Elsa cosplay came through as part of this group called the Disney Princess Alternative Cosplays. Shout out to my girls. And they were basically just starting to sort of get these like alternative princess costumes around. And one of their first themes was ballet. And I was like, I'm in. Please tell me my favorite princess is available. And she was.
Sure enough,
and I went from 0 to 100. I was like, oh my god, do I buy a tutu? Do I make it myself? Do I just make it like a leotard? Like, where do I go? Like, all of a sudden I was like, I have like a year to get this ready and I just want to make it amazing. But yeah, that came about and I've got some lovely friends that also did it. And I had a friend at the time who was a part of it who did a ballet Lilo. And she was like, I want to do the point thing without the point thing. Can you help me? So she actually did the sensible thing and asked and didn't just do.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah. I also learned a very horrible lesson from that cosplay. Never buy shoes off eBay.
You bought generic shoes off of eBay? How did that come about?
Sellers seem genuine. You read the reviews, everything looks good. You get them, and then you realize these aren't any good.
Oh no!
They look great in photos, but I'm binning them.
Oh no!
I'm gonna dye my next pair because they were just unbearable to walk around in. Thank God I bought a pair of normal blue shoes.
But speaking about next pairs, do you have any other ideas that you'd like to share for future ballet cosplays, be it related to Sarah or anybody else?
Yeah, well, as we have spoken about before all of this horrible year of quarantine and lockdown happened, I actually managed to purchase an old grade 8 skirt off of eBay. Again, this was a good eBay purchase, though. This one worked.
Okay.
Because unfortunately I wasn't allowed to keep any of my skirts after my performances at the Royal Academy. Like, it was rent only, which is really annoying because I loved the skirts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, what if they sell them? What if somewhere they sell them?
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to get back in the studios. I'd found all of my old like rehearsal videos from when I like danced in the garden with my mum and dad watching, and I was like, I know what I'm doing, but you have no idea, so I'm just gonna dance along the grass. And I was like, I'm gonna do Sarah in a Royal Academy of Dance uniform, and I'm gonna do it all proper. And I'll hire out a studio for like half an hour or something. I'll get a photographer to come with me. I'll relearn all my old routines, and we'll do something awesome. So that is 100% gonna happen when it's safe again.
Great, we're really looking forward to that. I know that's something you mentioned to us. All we need now is the small little bell we got to ring once it comes time to start.
I have everything ready. I literally I bought the leotard, I bought the skirt. I was like, I'm good to go. I will even print off a number.
There you go. But do you have any other ideas for any types of ballet cosplays besides that?
My friends always wanted me to do Princess Tutu for very obvious reasons. And I actually haven't seen the anime yet. I actually need to, and I'm really sorry, listeners.
Ooh, we have to.
I'm a fake fan.
That. I have watched it, and I am a big fan. It's very, very nice.
I just haven't had the time to sit and watch it, which is ironic, I know. But I will watch it. I will cosplay it. I need to make all my friends happy, but that will happen. I feel like I need to. I feel like it's a pathway to a better life somehow. Right. I don't know. I
really think you're going to enjoy it. And
I'm sure I will.
Yeah. And something else you might watch that sort of related. Have you heard of Kaleido Star?
I haven't actually.
It's a circus anime.
Ooh. I'm intrigued.
So
I'll have to search that up after this.
Yeah, if that's still available, you have to take a look at it. Well, Kessho-Cho, we've been talking for a long time, and I wish we could talk more in the recording form. But on the topic of ballet cosplay safety, is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers or listeners?
I know I've ranted on a little bit about the formality of like shoes and how they're broken in and things like that. But in general, I say to anyone who either does know ballet or doesn't, don't be afraid to ask someone or take the easy way out. There will always be someone there who is able to give advice in chat rooms. I know here in the UK we have a MCM Expo group with everyone who ever attended MCM Expo ever is in, and people ask questions in there all the time, post for comments, ideas. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to someone who knows what they're doing or might know what they're doing and say, hey, how did you do the thing? And demi points look just as good as real point shoes, and safety is 100% priority. People may look great in point shoes, but just do a little bit of research, take a little bit of time, and you'll find the perfect alternative, and your cosplays will look fantastic.
KesshoCho Cosplay, before I let you go,
Yes.
I know that you are now streaming on Twitch under your art moniker, Crystal Butterfly 13. How is that going for you?
Really well, actually. I'm honestly shocked. I hit affiliate about a month ago, which is insane. And I am actually getting a lot of artwork done because of this. I was like, I want to do more art. I want to show it to people. And Twitch was the perfect way to do it. It's such good fun.
I am a tremendous fan of your human Pokemon character.
Well, one of them is on their way to you, remember?
Yes.
and there will be more.
Yes, and if you want to know what we're talking about, you can just go back to see her Twitch video on demand replays. Her handle is Crystal Butterfly 13, Crystal Butterfly 13. And I'm not exactly sure when this whole video will air, Kessho-Cho, but it's quite possible that by the time it does, we'll have Rala to show here from where I am.
Insert photo.
Exactly. Oh, we can show the photo as well. But Kessho-Cho, is such a wonderful honor, pleasure, privilege to have you on here. And thank you for staying up. What's that?
It's always lovely to be on. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for staying up at this very early hour. Well, technically speaking, where you are, it's an early hour.
For me. It's fine. I'm an insomniac. It's all good.
Yeah. Thank you, Kessho-Cho. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me, as always.
This is Extreme Anime Radio.